getting induced today. Ryan's upstairs getting in the shower. But today is the day. It's July 18th. And we're gonna head to the hospital. So I'm gonna bring y'all with us. Alright, y'all, we in the car.
We are 36 weeks and 5 days.
Yep.
4 days, 4 or 5 days.
I'm about to have this baby. You ready to have a baby?
You ready to have a baby?
I'm ready to have my baby.
They told us to come on into the hospital, which is like 7 minutes away.
Yeah.
We're in the car seat. In our bags.
She's so calm right now because we're being induced, so she's not having any contractions. But we'll do a story on the labor and delivery story. But yeah.
But all is well, so don't panic. But
yeah.
We have a baby.
We'll see
y'all. I won't be this calm in the next clip. I'm just let y'all know.
We'll see y'all when we get to the hospital.
They put in there and filled it up. They put some water in it. They blew the balloon up. I have a water balloon in there. And that was the most painful stuff ever. Your booty it's exposed. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, that was just, I don't know what that was. I think she scooped herself down. That hurt. Huh? 138? Average. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh, 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 okay. Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay. You did it. Okay. As y'all can see,
we had a baby.
We did.
3 weeks early. It ain't nowhere near her due date.
Yeah. We got induced at 36 weeks and 6 days.
Well, we got induced 36 and 5 days, but she didn't come until the next day.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll tell you how we ended up getting induced. So we went to the doctor at 35 and 6.
Yeah, and they said she was growing small. As you can see, she's a tiny baby.
Yeah, so when we went there, she was measuring at 5.2 pounds. So they referred us out to a high-risk specialist to, I guess, confirm the weight with the ultrasound.
And get delivery, what they said, they called it delivery recommendations.
Mm-hmm. So that next week, we went to the high-risk doctor, got the ultrasound, and basically their recommendation was because she was small that she'll probably do better on the outside. So they was like, okay, well, my recommendation is you deliver by the time you hit 37 weeks.
Which was, at that time, 2 days away.
Yeah, 2 days away from that. So then we was like, okay, wow, that's crazy, but okay. So then we got to the car, and then the doctor called again, and she was like, you know what, actually,
let's just go ahead and deliver today.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other like, what?
Mm-hmm. Was not expecting that at all. So we went home, grabbed all the bags. Luckily we had everything packed already. We just had to put it in the car.
So yeah, all her stuff was set up and everything. So it was the bag we had to get. We had to go.
Yeah. So we put that in the car. went to the hospital, and then they did a what's it, like a stress test or something like that to see if she could handle contractions.
Yeah, they gave me 0.1 Pitocin.
Yeah.
Like for like 15 minutes, and you really can't feel it that little bit. But she had passed. Can you breathe? She passed that test.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Those cervical checks, baby. Ooh. Those are terrible. Never do it again.
Yeah. But the reason that they had to do the test was because they said usually smaller babies don't do well with labor, and sometimes you have to get a C-section. So they want to make sure that she could handle it before they actually induce her, which she did fine. And then they basically diagnosed her with intrauterine growth restriction, which...
And they said my placenta was old before, like it was getting old before it needed to.
Yeah.
So if she was having to overwork herself being inside.
Yeah. So then they did that. She passed the test. Mind you, we did not eat because we didn't expect none of this to happen. So we were like, okay, we're going to go to the appointment, then grab food, and then I was going to go to work.
She was in her uniform and everything.
Yeah.
And then the appointment was at 8 a.m. So we just kind of got up out of the bed, went, and didn't do anything else.
Yeah. So by this point at the hospital, we're like starving. So they were like, okay, we're not going to have to do like a C-section or anything. So they let her eat before they actually started the induction. So I went to Chick-fil-A to get her some food to eat. And she ate, and then the induction started. So you can explain the induction process.
Well, we started with a cervical check, which was hell because I was only 2 centimeters dilated. So they had to go all the way up, and I was not ready for that. That was like too much for me. But once she checked my cervix, they decided to do the cervical ball, which I had never heard of until that day. I didn't know what a cervical ball was, didn't know what to expect, nothing. So basically they put a balloon into your cervix, and then they fill it with water, and so it basically swells inside your cervix, which hurts because it tricks your body into feeling like it's dilated or dilating. And for like 30 minutes I was cramping so bad to the point I was in tears. It hurt so bad. And so then I started getting contractions, which that really hurt. I had to walk. I was trying to walk around. I was trying to move around, but I was hooked up to IVs and stuff, so it was really hard. And because I was getting induced, they had to keep the stress bands on me and like her monitor bands to make sure like her heart rate wasn't dropping, or like she was breathing and everything was fine. But I was in a lot of pain, and I was one of those people who swore I was just gonna try to do it natural. I got the epidural as soon as I could. After I got my epidural, I was fine. But they kept the cervical ball in for 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, like 6.5 hours.
Yeah, because we had to wait for the doctor to come back. I guess it was only one doctor working that night. So my nurses were great though. So we had to do that, and I believe I got the epidural before she took the balloon out. So I was fine after that because I couldn't do it anymore. Contractions was like come every 1 to 2 minutes, and I just they feel like being electrocuted on your period. It's just too much. It's too much. So I ended up getting the epidural, which wasn't bad at all, and I don't like needles and shots and stuff, so it wasn't bad, even though she had to stick me twice to actually get the epidural to work, but it's okay. So once they took the balloon out, I was dilated 5.5, almost 6 centimeters, and
they broke my water. And so after they broke my water, we just waited, really. And then I believe 6 a.m. the next morning, they were like, okay, you 10 centimeters. And mind you, we got to the hospital at like 11, like 10, 11 o'clock. So they started
a.m.
Yeah, a.m. And so they started the induction at like 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. the previous day. And so I was in labor from 2:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day. So once she checked, she was like, okay, the baby is like right there. Like her head was literally out. And we were like, okay, where's the doctor? So we had to wait for the doctor to come and come in, basically deliver her. But if she would have waited like 5 more minutes, the baby would have been out, to be honest.
Yeah, like her body did like a contraction, and she didn't even have to push. The contraction pushed her down.
Like, yeah, because she was so small, she was just like,
yeah, I could see her head, like it was literally like right there. But yeah, she came out. She was 5.5 pounds, and I mean,
it went so fast. It was like
she was small, but she didn't have like no issues. Like she is a regular baby that would have been delivered at 40 weeks. She's just lighter in weight, but everything else is great. Like she ate with a bottle, like ASAP. She was good. She knew what to do.
She didn't cry when she came out though. Like she just looked around. And they was like, we gotta make her cry, make sure her lungs are working. And she was just like, ooh, doo, doo, doo. But she didn't have any heart murmurs, any breathing problems. Her blood sugar was great. Like they had to check her blood sugar every 3 hours, so we didn't get no sleep. And it wasn't even because of her. It was because they had to come in every 3 hours to check her vitals, my vitals, make sure her temp was, not dropping. And we don't even have problems with her temperature anymore. Sometimes she'd be like super warm and like, you okay? You don't have a fever, do you? So
yeah.
And mind you, when we was in labor, I still wasn't getting rest because the nurse would have to come in every couple of hours and be like, okay, we need to switch positions. We need to do this. Or like they could see her heart rate outside of the room. So they was like, oh, it looks like her heart rate is dropping when you have a contraction. Like they was having to come in a lot to make sure that she could handle labor, or she was handling labor well. And I could feel pressure. So I really wasn't comfortable enough to like sleep. But it was better than having contractions. So that's that.
Yeah, it wasn't really smooth. Like I know we hear like a lot of bad stories on the internet about like hospitals and stuff like that, but our experience was very peaceful.
Right, I wouldn't have changed
nice.
It, to be honest.
Yeah, and even like with the Pitocin, like I know a lot of people are against like Pitocin, but
I didn't have any
her
problems.
labor like went very smooth with the Pitocin, like
because they put me back on Pitocin after I got my epidural, so I couldn't feel it, and it still took long. So it wasn't like they were like rushing me, because like everybody was great. We had no problems out of the doctors, nurses. Everybody listened to us, everything. So like everything was really, really smooth, like really nice. I would definitely do it again with the at that same hospital, because everybody was just like really chill about it, and they explained everything well. So like we didn't have to like question what's gonna happen, what's this, what's that. Like when she said she's gonna give me the cervical balloon, she was like, this is what it is, this is how we're gonna insert it, this is what you're gonna feel. So it wasn't like I was jumping into something not knowing what to expect.
It was a good experience. We only stayed in the hospital after she was born for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they let us go home. She had to do a car seat test for like an hour and a half because she is on the smaller side. She passed that test. She's passed every test that she's had. So
she's just tiny, that's all.
Yeah, she's just real petite. But yeah, after she was born, we came home. She lost a couple ounces, which they say is normal. But now she's back to, I believe she's probably over her birth weight now, like past it. But yeah, she's 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks old at this point.
And she has a head full of hair. So,
Yeah.
like, she wasn't, there was nothing wrong. And I asked before, like, we got induced, like, what was the chance of her being in the NICU and everything? And they were just like, little to no chance, but it is dependent on the baby. So, the only thing that she had to do that wasn't with us was be in the warmer, and she was still in the room, because they wanted to make sure her temperature wasn't dropping, because, you know, don't want her to be like sick or anything. But other than that, everything was good. Like, we didn't get a lot of sleep, but everything was good other than that.
Yeah.
Our first 24 hours home, that was tough. That was something we didn't expect, because
I feel like I don't remember it.
Cause it was tough. It was a blur.
It's us waking up every 2 hours to make sure she eat. But because she, in the beginning, was very sleepy, so we had to wake her up to make sure she ate. Because if not, she would sleep through it.
Because technically she was early, so she was still expected to operate like she's in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't know, I gotta tell y'all I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But now she will. She definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
She do not play about her milk.
Yeah. But yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Very chill.
Like, the chillest baby I've ever been around. She doesn't cry much unless she's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
She sleeps all day, and even when she's up at night, she just looks and stares.
Yeah.
And eventually she got back to sleep.
Yeah. But I meant to get like a lot of footage from the hospital, but we were so exhausted. Like, it was a very long
And
labor.
mind you, I had woke up the night before, not the night, like the morning of us going to that appointment. I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I could not go back to sleep. And I was already kind of like on the grumpier side going to the appointment, because I was like, I haven't gotten any sleep. I'm in pain. My hips hurt. I was completely over being pregnant by that point. Like, I was working to get her out, but not that soon. I was just like, okay, we was going on walks. I got an exercise ball. I was drinking the raspberry tea. I was preparing my body to kind of get her out. And then we went to the ultrasound, and she was like, are you dilated any? Because she's super low. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't had a check. And because like she was like way down into my pelvis. But when I finally did go into labor, like go to deliver, she came out really quick, like 3 pushes. And I didn't have any like tears or scratches. I think they did maybe like 1 or 2 small stitches because she scratched me coming out. But other than that, I didn't have any pain. Like, using the bathroom, it was a little hard to move around after, but that's because I didn't have feeling in my legs. But other than that, I was up and moving like when we got home. Like, I was walking around when we got home, moving around. I wasn't in a lot of pain. The only thing that really hurts is like my back. And I think because it's still recovering from having the numbness in my spine. But other than that, I've been fine. Just moving around. Kind of like, it doesn't feel like I had a baby. It just feels like the baby appeared.
Yeah.
Really? On camera?
Just let out a good one for y'all.
Okay, yeah. Stink.
But yeah, I don't know what else. If y'all got questions, just ask us.
Yeah. We expected it to be a lot harder. Or I did. But it was a lot easier than what I expected. So.
Yeah, she handled it like a champ.
Those contractions was hell. If you are pregnant, you think about having a baby, you want to have a baby, get the drugs. Just get the drugs. If you want to do it natural, by all means do you, but please get the drugs. Don't even put yourself through that. The baby gonna get hit one way or another. You just get the drugs.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna start vlogging, bruh. We keep on saying this,
Yes.
but
we haven't been able to get out of the house. That's number one.
Yeah.
Since she's been born. I'm scared. We're scared of germs. The baby gets sick.
I got a lot of time off work, so I can like just pick up the camera during the day and just record our day to day. Even though we don't really do much during the day, but
if that's what y'all want to see, we'll do it.
yeah, and it's been really hot here, so we were taking her on walks outside, but it's been too hot to even do that.
We was busting a sweat, so we was like,
yeah.
Even though she has like a fan, we put in her stroller, and like she doesn't seem like she gets hot, but it's like the thought of, are you overheating? Are you overheating? I'm overheating. Are you overheating? So we don't really leave the house unless we're going to the doctor, which her appointments have been quite close because she's small and they want to make sure she's gaining weight. Also, I'm exclusively pumping because somebody won't latch. So if you have any questions on that, definitely let us know. We'll answer those. She was speaking to the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how our birth story went. Pretty easy going for a late preterm baby.
Yeah.
So I wish everybody's birth is like that, because it was like probably one of the best birth experiences you could have, to be honest, especially with the anxiety of her coming early. It was really smooth.
Oh, that's her pumping timer, so we gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.